This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
So I snapped it one day going about 120 mile an hour. That's what I do when I drive down there.
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
There's a phrase on top that says, do what you love. I'm going to put that one in my office.
It is the 4th of November, 2022. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name's Marnie Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Just clear the air. I don't drive 120 mile an hour.
No.
Officer, if you're listening, it's not me. Sometimes there's an incident where I pass people and I forget to set the cruise, which usually is about 8 over the speed limit. But I figured I've never been pulled over. I'm like, you're going 8 over speed limit? It's always like, you're going 20 over the speed limit? Nah. I didn't know, man.
I don't think your vehicle can go 120 miles an hour.
But,
We're not going to find out.
We're going to be on the freeway today. Maybe we'll find out. But no. Today, though, is a very special episode. It's a Friday episode. Last night, you were asleep. I was pressing shirts. They're Christmas presents for people. And I was like, well, we'll just knock it out. Let's do it in the morning. I got my coffee. It's full to the brim, like literally. Like
It really is.
It's a cup that your brother got me for Christmas a couple years ago. It's one of those a Yeti cup. That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. And it's really good at keeping stuff hot and cold. But on the bottom it says it's 20 ounces.
And it's not.
Lies. I don't know what you're getting in. Like 20 ounce. I don't think so. It's at 18 and it's to the top.
Yeah, but you put creamer in it.
A dab. It was already to the top. I had to like my mouth's burning still because I had to sip hot ass coffee because we have a Keurig machine. That's how I know it's 18 because I did a 12 and then I did a 6 and I'm like, oh, that'll leave me 2 ounces for. No, it won't leave you anything. So I'm a little upset at Yeti. I mean, they make a good product, but the false advertising on the bottom, they should have just made me guess. Figure it out.
Just don't put it on there.
Yeah, just leave it off because you're gonna mess people up. Anyway, a special episode today, a little shout out episode. A little giving thanks to people that support us and help us. And we're going to start off with birthdays. Today, there's a man out there, very special man. He's on our board. He did not ask to be. I just placed him on our board. And his name is Ron Kramer. And he's 176 years old today.
Yeah, no.
And now he is. And a lot of people don't think you can live that old, but you can. And Tyrone will tell you, because Tyrone and Ron are buddies. Our good friend Tyrone, the guy who does the open, he's our voice guy.
Yeah.
And he's always worried about Ron being worked too hard by, I don't want to say his old lady, but by his significant other. Tyrone has threatened to call CPS, but I don't think CPS handles that. But I'm sure there's an elderly PS, like EPS, that you can call. But Tyrone, he's trying to figure out because he just thinks that Ron has worked so hard and he's like, every time I call Ron or text Ron, he's doing something. I'm like, yeah, man, every time I'm trying to hang out with Ron, because Ron knows a lot about cameras and photography. And I'm like, hey, man, help me out with these cameras. I'm trying to shoot these videos. I'm trying to do this and that. And I can't. I'm hauling wood today. Or I can't. I'm building a pole barn. Or it's always something with Ron. Like sometimes he doesn't even text me back for weeks. And it's like, wow. So happy birthday, Ron.
Happy birthday, Ron.
Moral of that story. Just hope it's a good one. Another birthday shout out, my Aunt Barb. She is what they would call P1.
Happy birthday, Aunt Barb.
She listens to us, and that's the old radio term, like P1.
Priority one. It took me, he said that for probably the first year of our relationship, and I had no idea what it meant. And finally I was like, what does that mean?
It's a P1. Yeah, that would be our demo. But anybody who listens is our demo. Like that, you're our, we don't have, we're not targeting men 25 to 54.
Right.
And actually, more women listen to this podcast. I don't know.
Says who?
Well, actually, no, because Spreaker told us not one woman has ever listened to this podcast.
Right.
Which I know is a lie. That's when I realized those stats are lies. And I'm like, no, I guess we'll never know. But no, on Facebook, it'll give you analytics and stuff. And I think it's 70% of our people who like us on Facebook are women.
Maybe women tend to press the like button more than males.
I don't know. So guys, if you're looking to hook up, 217 Recovery Dating.
Oh my God.
Right there, just start a thread about how awesome you are in your sobriety and just see what happens. We'll let you post it in our Facebook group or family page.
Disclaimer, that is not an official route to go.
Be like, Elon Musk will charge you $8 a month to post it on there. Like it'll be like his verified button.
I mean, in an innocent way, it is a good way to like know where people are at in their program. I don't know.
Don't be creepy though.
It would be creepy.
Let them come
It's like
to
kind
you.
of like,
Just put it out there. Would you say no shirtless pictures?
oh, absolutely not.
What if they're stacked and buff?
Well, you get to approve them, so
Yeah, no, like just be,
no, we're not doing a dating site.
Just saying, $8 a month. So those are our birthday shout outs that I am aware of. Also, shout out to my cousin Wayne. I guess he listens from time to time, and he told his buddies, his crew, the Coloma crew, we'll call them.
Sweet.
Wayne and the Coloma crew, appreciate it. I want to shout out to Great Lakes Recovery. Went there the other day, and that's in Sault Ste. Marie, so I'm by Canada. Sometimes I see the bridge, I'm like, oh, maybe I could just go for it. But then I was
What's
like,
in
wait.
Canada for
I don't
you?
know. Nothing, absolutely nothing. This is one of those things. Wonder if I can make it, just go through the border and then turn around, come right back. Like, that's enough.
Just say you did.
Had enough of that, thanks.
Have you ever been before?
Yeah,
Okay. So then why?
I don't know.
Yeah, no reason.
Go there, change some money over, and then come back, change it back. See if
I remember when I was a kid, I was like, they have really pretty money. Because they have those, well, I don't even know what they have, if they have them anymore, the little loon dollars.
the Anthony.
I was like, yeah, they have a coin that's $1. Like, that's pretty cool.
Is it?
Well, at the time, I thought it was.
What if I just went over there and tried to transfer just account money? I'm like, no, I don't need your money physically. I just need your money transferred from these numbers to these other numbers in your country. Like if I have $100, will I have $102 in my account when I go over there?
No, it doesn't work that way.
I'm sure it does somewhere. That's how you get rich.
Next thing you know,
So
you're going to be taking Michigan cans from another state and bringing them back here.
if you live in Buchanan or Dowagiac or down there, or maybe even South Bend, there are some Meijer stores that sell 10-cent Michigan cans. Just saying. You can buy a lot of pop, though. I think that's illegal.
I think it would be illegal.
Anyway, back to my currency scam. So if I go to Mexico, because the peso is like $100 here is like $100,000 there, right? Okay, that's not right, but close or something like that. So why couldn't I just go there and be like, all right, I have my $287, my $217. I'm here now. I'm going to put that in your bank with these numbers. Like I wouldn't have no physical money on me, but I got these numbers here. I'm going to put these numbers over here to your bank routing stuff, and then we'll put them numbers to your numbers and make them numbers go up.
No.
What do you mean no?
It wouldn't work.
It
Because
has
let's
to.
say you went from, let's say reverse it. And you came from Mexico, a bunch of pesos.
Yeah, you get.
And you tried to go to a bank and said, I want to put all of my money into a bank account.
They're like, why don't you just keep that?
They
in your
wouldn't be
pocket,
like,
buddy?
okay, this is X amount of pesos and this equals X amount of American dollars. They just do the rate difference.
That's effed up though if you think about it, because they're just stupid numbers. But you're gonna tell me that your number, because numbers, like that's the only thing that's like what solid or whatever you want to say. Like that's a number's a number. Like that's a fact. You know, that's what it is. But then you take your American number and go to Mexico and have Mexico numbers.
Well, that's
It's a
why
different
they say,
number.
That's why they say you're transferring $1,000 USD, US dollars.
Oh yeah, that is true. I
So
remember
then
that
they'd be
in
like,
Excel.
see, there you go.
We had to do that in one of our assignments.
Then they'd be like, pounds. How many pounds is that?
So I wouldn't even have to go to Mexico. I could just call a bank and be like, yo, I'm going to switch this over to that, and then just start buying property down there.
Okay. Just let me know how that goes.
I'll set up homeless shelters. For real, like what they give the homeless shelter here in Traverse City, give me just a couple of millions, okay? Give me just a couple of their millions. Let me set up shop in Mexico from here, of course, because I have no interest in going to Mexico. And then I'll just buy property, have them build some luxury homeless apartments, and we'll just ship them down there. There you go.
I love like the
Hasta
root.
luego.
I love the root of your ideas.
Hey,
just-
everything starts with an idea.
This is true.
How many people out there that are not having any ideas about it? Millions. But before you get me too far off track here, Marnie, I was talking about Great Lakes Recovery. And I went up there and they showed me around. I was taking a client up there and dropping him off at treatment. And I'm walking out and I hear, "Hey, Corey, come over here." And I was like, "What?" Or Corey, hold up a minute. And it was a gentleman named Josh. He said he had met me at the recovery rally in Lansing. And I was like, "Oh, I don't remember, but okay." Because there's so many people there. And
yeah, we did a lot of handshaking that day.
yeah, and just being so busy with everything else and forgetting my laptop or the charger, it was like, oh, damn. But anyway, so Josh, he showed me around and I met Casey. I already knew Chelsea, but she was there. And then Brianna, I got to meet her, and a gentleman by the name of Doug. And Doug was like, "Yeah, man, I listened to your podcast and I wish more people did." And I was like, "Oh, really? Like, why?" And I told them the story about how I used to be obsessed with like numbers and stats and how many people are listening and the fact that we don't really know. And I just kind of gave up on that. And I was telling them the whole story about Kevin from St. Louis who reached out that time. And that was a God thing because I was just like, "Well, who's listening?" And then Kevin sent us an email and said he was searching on iHeartRadio for a recovery podcast, and he searched it and we popped up. So I was like, all right, well, that's how we know it's going good. If people are looking for us and they can find us like that, then I don't care if one person listens or 100.
Exactly.
So he was like, "Man, more people need to listen though." And like, well, I'll tell people to tell their friends, like, right. I don't know. It's one of those things. And in our audience, and a lot of people unfortunately die, but it's something that I know in my active addiction, I wouldn't have listened to it. We don't target it for people in active addiction. We target it for families and people in early recovery, and we just tell our stories. And if it helps people, that's great. And we're not all about recovery all the time. We talk about movies and we play the intimacy game.
I can tell you why I wouldn't listen to it when I was in active addiction, because I didn't want to face anything like head on that had to do with me addressing the fact that I was very well aware of the fact that I was an alcoholic and that my behaviors and attitude, emotions, all of it was just not in a good place. And so listening to something that had hope or inspiration or whatever, I wanted nothing to do with it because it made me uncomfortable. So much so that I remember I was working part-time. This was early in my addiction. It was over summer. And I was helping out one of my mom's friends who was a realtor. And I didn't really know anything about that. She was just having me do busy work or whatever. And in their coffee room, they had an AA book, like the big book, on their on the table, like along with other stuff to, read while people were eating their lunch. And I saw that, and I literally, my heart started racing, and I got super uncomfortable. And I'm like, they put that there for me. Oh, no. Like, that's what I was thinking. And I wasn't even going to say, like, did you guys sit there for me? Or, because I was just like, no, I'm not even going to, like, I don't see it. So, but in early recovery, absolutely. That's who our target people are.
Yeah. And to show them that we can have fun in recovery and you can do anything you want in your life as long as you're sober. Like, you really can.
Mm-hmm. And not saying that people that are in active addiction shouldn't listen to us. Absolutely. We want you to. We want anybody who can benefit from it or be entertained by it. Please listen. I'm just, from my experience, like, I get it. Yeah,
that's why I said I couldn't have. My mom was always trying to get me to listen to stuff and watch YouTube videos. I'm like, nah, I don't need that. That guy's stupid. So I get it, but that's who we talk to, and we do it for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, thanks for the people that do listen. So thanks, Doug. I appreciate that. But Great Lakes Recovery, really nice place. They gave me the tour. Josh gave me the tour. Nice kitchen. Nice rooms, like that's a good spot. And I think they have like 17 people. It's a max or something like that. So it's not like there's a place in Michigan that they want to be the biggest.
They are.
We want to be the biggest in Michigan. And the guy who's the CEO said, "We're not trying to be the best treatment facility in Michigan. We're trying to be the biggest." He said that in a meeting. I worked there. And that's when I realized I don't want to work here. Like, that's not how you help people. I think the smaller the better. Mm-hmm. If it was up to me, and maybe it will be, limit the number of people that you can have at a treatment center, because treatment centers, sure, if you have private insurance, you can go off to Florida and ride horses and golf or whatever. But if it's at the state level, it's not about making money. It's about helping people.
Right.
You know, like when we do the transportation, it's not about making money. Obviously, we need tires, we need gas, we need oil, but we're not like trying to make $1 million. We're trying to get people where they need to go.
Right.
You know, and that's the difference. And I think with treatment centers, it should be the same way. You know, the smaller it is, the more intimate it's going to be.
Yeah.
And this is just my professional opinion as a professional radio broadcaster. I'm not a therapist. I'm not anything else. I'm just saying my personal experiences do count for something. And having 90, 150 people in a place, and you don't even hire enough therapists where somebody could do a 30-day stint there and only see their therapist one time, and that's only to talk about paperwork. That's you're failing, and you need to stop.
Absolutely. That's
And
not acceptable.
They need to stop sending people there. And I get we need more treatment centers, but again, back to our give us some money thing. Give us $100 million and we'll build a couple of treatment centers for you. You know, like we're out here willing to do it, and we want to do it the right way. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of people out there that really do want to do it the right way, but they're not getting the opportunities to. And I get it. Like when we first started, I was like, it was so refreshing to have a goal and to have a dream. And at first I would get frustrated because I'm like, how come they're not, can they just fund us? How come we can't? But I get it. You know, here I am. I think when I met with them, I had like maybe 9 months clean, and I'm like, hey, I want to do this and that. And they're probably like, okay, yeah, sounds good, buddy, but we're not giving you anything, you know. And I get it now, looking back. It's like, hell no, why would they give me anything? And even when I had barely over a year clean, you know, I'm like asking for all this money, and they're like, nah, not yet. Mm-hmm. But I get it. You know, it does take time. But now that we've been doing it for a few years, they look at it like, okay, well, these guys aren't going anywhere, and they're really helping people, so let's get behind them. And we just need more people like that, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
So if you're in early recovery and you're listening, why not you? You know, there's people out there with some great ideas and a lot of experience. So let's put it to use. You know, I was talking with another shout out, Zach Williams, yesterday, and he's going to be on the podcast next week. And just the stuff we were talking about, you know, and he said something that I say to people all the time. He's like, you know, there's a lot of things that are messed up, but we have our hearts in the right places. And it's people like us that need to step up to change things. You know, we can't just sit around and bitch about how it's so bad, you know, like come up with some good ideas and pitch those. And since he's been around for a minute too, so it's like, okay, now we're starting to get that footing. And he's opening recovery homes over in Alpena, and he's got some good stuff going on. So I can't wait to have him on the podcast next week. I'll let him talk all about it. But yeah, and I met with him a couple years ago, you know, and it'll be good to catch up with him. And he was telling me about a podcast that we'll have to listen to. It's out of Florida. It's called Hell Has an Exit. He was like, dude, it's great. He's like, it's kind of rough sometimes though. He's like, they go into some deep stuff, but you know, talk about being in hell and there's a way out, you know. Mm-hmm. So Hell Has an Exit. So if you're bouncing around, maybe check that out. But we'll check it out. Do want to shout out to Walmart. Thank you.
Thank you, Walmart.
You've been good to us. We appreciate that you support the recovery community. Anything you need from us, let us know. I want to shout out to Addiction Treatment Services.
I stole mine.
Haha. Well, yeah. But no, they've been very, very good to us and helping us in our process of kind of starting out and getting people where they need to go. And then, you know, we used their building, the porch, when I recorded Jacob Sparks' video, which I had to redo because I had like stuff spelled wrong and it sounded dumb and like the sound of it. Mm-hmm. Like, I had some issues there. So I redid it and put out the final cut or whatever I called it. But it was cool that we could go there on a Saturday and not really be interrupted and film it. And it looked pretty good. So thanks to them for all their support. And also to Breaking Alignment Plus. They've just been so good to us, and they really support the recovery community. They really, really do. And they're looking for people too. Alignment guys. Yeah. No less.
If you have any car experience.
Yeah. Or you want to.
Vehicle repair.
Yeah. Breaking Alignment Plus. And they're looking for alignment guys. So you're going to be like a main guy in there.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah. You're not the plus guy. You're
no,
not the
you don't,
guy.
you don't have to do the plus stuff.
Nope. You're the alignment guy. But no, Mike there, he takes care of us. The other day, when I was going last week to Great Lakes Recovery and I was coming back and I had a tire issue and I pulled off in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if I told the story on the podcast. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. but God was looking out, and it all kind of worked out. I got home from the UP, back to Traverse City just fine. And a few days later, I'm going to meet a buddy for lunch. I get in the car, and it's like 6 PSI on my tire. And I'm like, what? And Braking Alignment Plus is kind of right around the corner from us. So I just strolled down the hill with the car and rolled in there and was like, hey, got a problem. And they took care of me. So I really do appreciate them. And they've hooked us up quite a bit, you know, and so we support them. We even gave them a plaque.
Yeah, we
thanking
did.
them for supporting the recovery community. Mm-hmm. And they have it proudly in their lobby. So if you ever go there, look on their walls and you'll see it.
Yeah.
But that's cool when you get businesses like that do support people in recovery and understand, you know, the fact that us taking people to treatment is kind of a big deal. And, you know, for us to have our vehicle, which is our equipment, you know, top notch, dialed in, you know, because that's very important. We need to, you know, in our using days. Does it have gas? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that was about it.
I think I blew up, was it 1 or 2 cars because I didn't change my oil? Because that was like $40. You know, that's drinking for the weekend. Can't do that.
Gosh.
I know. But when you're in this kind of life and you're doing good things, like you just have to take care of your stuff, and you realize that. And now I do little things like that, go to the dentist, get my oil changed, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of all falls in line. Take care of yourself like you would your vehicles. But yeah, so that's our Friday shout out show from me. Is there any shout outs that you wanted to give?
Yeah. So I said you stole mine, but the ATS faculty, like all of my coworkers, are just absolutely amazing. And everybody kind of steps up. People have different roles, but everybody kind of steps up and helps wherever help is needed. I mean, I'm talking from the CEO answering my texts. Like, who does that? I don't think I ever texted the CEO before this new CEO. I mean, maybe 5 times in like the 3 years that I've been working with them. And like, I don't know, just really supportive. And, you know, we all are on the same page and we all want the best for our clients. And you can feel that, you know, you can feel that from our staff members. And there's a lot of collaboration and, you know, bouncing ideas off each other. And that's really helpful. So, I mean, I could rattle off a ton of names, but, you know, everybody's awesome.
Don't want to be name dropping.
So, yeah.
Because you forget that one person and they're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paula, the CEO, she actually has a speaking engagement coming up where she's going to talk about youth and substance use.
It's on the
10th. Yep, and I wanted to go, but I don't know because that's when I have to get my
colonoscopy.
I was going to word it differently, but yes.
I know you were. That's why I interrupted.
But yeah, that's in Traverse City. So if you like The Porch on Facebook, ATS The Porch, I think is what it's called. Or just call up the Addiction Treatment Services and be like, hey, when's the talk?
Yeah.
On the 10th. Where's it at?
Yeah. And Paula has a story of her own. And that's why she's like us. That's why she cares so much, is because she's made it to the other side of this and remembers what it was like, you know, when we were in active addiction. And that's really powerful. So to be and she's extremely smart, very well spoken. And, you know, her number one thing is, you know, the efficiency of the agency. And what that means is equates to like helping people. So, and they like about being supportive, they have been 100% supportive of 217 since the get-go.
I'd say 200%.
Yeah, 200%. That's good.
Yeah. And
so I love everybody there. I mean, from the people like to our maintenance man, like everybody's just super awesome. And, you know, we all have our days where we're like, this shit's too much, you know, because that's just the nature of the job. But give it another day and we're like, you know, but on those days, that's when other people will be like, you need to just step back from this and let me take it. And then, you know, that's where the teamwork comes in. And it just is like, oh, okay. But yeah, I can't say enough nice things about them.
Yeah, working in that industry keeps you on your toes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Next week's not going to be anything like this week, and you never could have predicted what's going to happen.
Nope.
But you
Not
have to
at
get
all.
through it somehow.
You can have a planner and your highlighters and pencil stuff in, and every week is going to be different.
Maybe that's why I never use my planner.
That could be.
Because I don't really know what's going on next week. I mean, it sounds good to like write something on a planner, but
Yeah,
doesn't mean I'm going to be there. I'm going to do it.
for sure.
But we should have Paula on the podcast. You know what? I'm going to use this moment to publicly invite Paula
Okay.
to be a guest on the 217 Recovery Podcast.
I'm sure she's down.
That'll be hosted by Marnie.
Oh, really?
It'll be your first interview.
No, because I'll be a part of it, but I don't want to lead it. This isn't how, I mean, that's not my role in this. I'm a co.
I'm just trying to push off responsibilities.
Co-host.
That's what I do. I mean, I'm trying to make you a better person. I'm trying to give you more.
I have plenty of things that I'm
tools.
functioning and trying to improve in my life right now at this moment.
Okay.
But thanks, honey, for the opportunity.
That's what I do. Create opportunities for people. People who know me well will say, oh, yeah, he does. But thanks for listening, though. That'll wrap up this quick Friday shout out edition of the podcast. But we'll be back tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. For more episodes plus bonus features, download the 217 Recovery app and support recovery by rating us in the App Store.